The following program is a rock music-based podcast. Get the gridiron, get the gridiron. Now you've heard the best and worst of them, and now you're about to hear the first of them. The first to ever do it down under. We're here to steal your thunder, like the world's end down in Thunderdome. Welcome to our second home. All you need to know is Get Day. This is Get Day Gridiron. 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 This is Get Day Gridiron.
G'day Aussie Gridiron fans and welcome to the G'day Gridiron podcast, brought to you by the Aussie Gridiron Network, Australia's home of local and NFL gridiron, and of course, fantasy football. That's right, the Aussie NFL fantasy boys are back this week. You'll hear them on Sunday. Nice breakfast listening in your ear holes, if you so wish. Listen to the boys, Taylor and Maddie, talk about some fantasy football back on the Aussie Gridiron Network. So make sure you catch that. But for today, g'day. We are here on G'day Gridiron to talk about some NFL football, some rookie OTAs, some holdouts on contracts, just some general news and just weird shit happening around the NFL. Not too much. Brad's away today. He came down with the sickness. He tells me that it is a sickness that he got from his filthy, unwashed students. That's a direct quote. So Nick and Isaac left in the house with me, and we've been having a ball talking about all kinds of dumb shit in the green room. So we thought we'd hit record and just bring it to you live. How you going, Isaac?
I'm good, and for everyone watching on YouTube, I am not sunburnt. It is my shitty camera.
We've been upping our video and audio game here the last few weeks. I found a camera.
But not Isaac.
Courtesy of my work. Isaac hasn't yet. Brad has got a quality camera, so you boys definitely need to step up some game. I found a Ryobi work light. That means that I'm not sitting in the dark anymore. So we're doing pretty well. Nick had something special happen over the last couple of weeks. Nick officially got an invitation to try out for Outback Football. So, American Football Australia, Australian team, Nick. Well done, mate.
Well done, Nick. Well done, mate.
Thank you. Yeah.
I think it's an achievement to get the invite to start with.
Yeah, and look, obviously I was a bit upset with us not having a state campaign this year. I thought that would have really shot down all chances, but fortunately with us going down, a few other teams also went down as well. So not in a good way, but spread out sort of the playing field in terms of getting those invites. So obviously honoured, but looking forward to next weekend and trying to hopefully get into that top 53 squad.
That'd be amazing. I mean, for us, we'll have an Australian O-lineman on the podcast without even having to put out the feelers and go through networks to try and get that way. But yeah, mate, that would be awesome. It has been state campaigns, and let's go. I mean, a little bit Aussie gridiron out there. Just state campaigns this year have just really fallen over everywhere. Even this week, we were supposed to be, this weekend, Matty Manjot and myself were supposed to be going down to Hunter, or the boys coming up to meet me in Newcastle to the Hunter League, who was supposed to play ACT, the ACT squad. But that hasn't happened because, of course, last week in and around the Newcastle and Hunter area, we had up to some places over half a metre of rain in 3 to 4 days. Massive flooding, still is flooding. There's parts of Maitland which are still genuinely flooded. So, yeah, that game's been postponed now, thankfully. It wasn't just called off, but that's been postponed until later in June, which does, as Nick pointed out, push it very close to Outback for some of those guys that would be competing from ACT. But we'll still be at that, and you'll hear a bit more about that coming up. But, yeah, state campaigns, Nick, they've sort of really just taken a massive just kick to the nuts.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because, as far as I'm aware, Victoria didn't play any games we obviously haven't played any games, and that also ruled out WA. So a lot of the southern states, and obviously WA. So really, it was only up to ACT, and obviously Hunter was the only game I was sort of aware of. I'm going to assume that Queensland have probably played a game or two. I'm not sure if they played like New South Wales or anything.
I'm having a look actually, I had that exact thought as you were saying it.
So even if, let's say for example, all there's like obviously Queensland's got the sort of two teams separated between the north and the southeast region. Even if they played and then the New South Wales team as well, it's only 5 or so teams, and really it took the Hunter region to come out for the first time in however many years to have a state team to really get something going. So it's quite upsetting, really, considering they're trying to put together a national game. So I would have thought try and get everything up, and there would have been a lot more people across all states just trying to sort of audition themselves to try and get into the invites for the Outback, but unfortunately, it hasn't been the case.
Queensland, Victoria had some junior stuff.
Lots of junior stuff.
So they had under-16s Queensland Southern Devils versus the Vic Eagles. They've had a couple of those games. Some great photos on the American Football Queensland Facebook page. Actually,
there was like a tri series not too long ago with them two, and then SA as well. They played over like a week or two. That was not too long ago. It seems like the juniors are getting sort of better traction than the seniors, which is a bit weird. But
it's good to see.
Definitely good to see, because they obviously had the recent World Cup not too long ago in Canada, and that sort of flowed on. Obviously, there's a lot more participation all round, at least from our state here in SA, I'll say. But it's good at least that the juniors have had that sort of foundation, and they're sort of growing since they've had the sort of World Cup. Hopefully it sort of continues from there across all states, really.
Yeah, it looks like Queensland haven't had any either. They're well into doing a bit of their all of their pre-season marketing, even kicking off some pre-season. Rockhampton Wolverines, and I assume most of the North Queensland mob. They kicked off pre-season on the 11th of May. Like, wow, their season is like already in full swing. If pre-season's a few weeks in,
so that's like a 4-month. So they'd be having, because I think they're based off the old timeline, they'd be having like a 4-month sort of lead-in.
Yeah, I mean they're currently still playing flag competitions. They have some amazing flag sides, huge competition. Most of it, interesting enough, most of the logos for the Queensland flag sides are all made by the same guy that made our logos, actually. And
there you go.
So it was awesome. Tom did all of those guys, all these logos that are really sweet, awesome logos. I look at stuff like that and I go, like, T-shirts galore, show me. But yeah, it looks like, you're right. They haven't really. They've been deep into flag by the looks of it, and all about the national flag, obviously, because national flags in both junior women's and men's have been held, and there's national teams out there. So, unfortunately, state competitions didn't go so well this year. Last year was a huge thing. It'd be nice to see it come back. It'll be hopefully this Hunter ACT game goes ahead, because it'll be great to be at. It'll be great to see a game between a couple of good quality sides. So hopefully we get there, and hopefully you do well next week, mate, and we see your name on an Outback roster within coming weeks.
I hope so. Yeah, I was going to say hopefully that ACT Hunter game gets up. Like, even if if worse comes to worse, if they have to relocate it to Canberra or something, but hopefully they do get up, because as we said, not many state games, if any, this year. So it's quite unfortunate, really.
Hunter guys are pushing pretty hard for it. They're really keen for it. So they put a fair bit of money into the infrastructure and things that are going on. So it'll be really good. So all right.
I'm hoping you actually get to play up there, Nick, with all the tears from those Queenslanders from Wednesday night.
They'll be even more pissed off now, and most of them will be up there already. So
If it wasn't humid as fuck up there, it'd probably be flooding.
Those two-headed people up there.
Moist, nice and moist up there.
Hey, did you? I saw a really interesting stat after that game. You know that the Blues have never lost on the 28th of May when a game has been played, and every single one of those games that has been played on the 28th of May has been in Queensland.
Well,
What sort of ESPN stat is that?
Hey, no, I was like, I read that stat and I'm like, oh, this is a Manjot stat.
That's
Stat.
like some
This is
NFL
full of,
draft
like,
ESPN
Manjot gets
thing.
dirty and shit. This is.
that's like a LeBron James stat. No, no one's ever made a
Yeah.
triple double on a Tuesday in May at night.
Yeah, in Atlanta, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a full on Manjot gets dirty stat. That one is so. Yeah, so
I don't
anyway.
want to give you an opportunity to geek out on us again.
Brad's in spirit.
Brad's with spirit. This is actually one of those times when I can use all the Brad drops and not be weird because Brad's on the podcast. I might have to put some more into the suite here just so I can use more of them tonight while we're talking.
Either I'm an idiot or you guys are, one of the two.
There we go. All right, let's talk some NFL football. Boys, it's OTAs. There's not a great deal going on. Rookies are all at their camps. There's various levels of players turning up to OTAs. Of course, a lot of the veterans don't always turn up. The media like to make this huge hype when some vets do turn up to OTAs. Like, for instance, I saw one where Justin Jefferson turns up to the first day of OTAs, and it's like he doesn't have any performance or OTA things in his contract this year, and that's how he's just trying to be a leader for the team. Like, come on, can we
Got to get some stories out there.
can we stop it? Like, are we really that desperate for stories that we have to beef that up?
Breaking news: NFL player rocks up for training camp. You know, fuck yeah. Now, what are we talking about here?
I know. And of course, they are voluntary OTAs at this time of the year. That's what they're called by the league. But of course, a lot of clubs, the word voluntary it does mean certain, like, different things for different levels of players at different clubs. And a lot of head coaches obviously have different meanings for the word voluntary as well. So, but there is still a bit of news and a bit of stuff to discuss out there that's been happening. Let's start with Jalen Ramsey is still a free agent. Unbelievable. He's probably one of the better players sitting on that current free agent list.
I don't think
Boys-
technically he's a free agent. He just knows he's getting traded from Miami.
Yes.
And Miami
Yeah, well,
know that.
Yeah, I think he's still listed with Miami technically,
And
Actually, I'm just looking at it.
as far as I'm aware, unless
yeah,
they said that they cut him.
No, they haven't cut him yet.
no, not
Yeah,
yet.
I was going to say.
Yeah,
And,
I wouldn't be surprised if that's what's happening. But yeah, it's still there. It's still no trade destination, no destination for Jalen Ramsey to play at.
There's 3 that are in talks with the Dolphins, is what I'm reading here. He could go back to the Rams, he could go to the Commanders, or the Dallas Cowboys. I'd personally like to see him on the Cowboys to see what he can do.
That's interesting. I'm surprised. Yeah, I mean, the Commanders obviously trying to go for as many players as they can. Obviously, just trying to make their squad a little bit older, a little bit more experienced. Obviously, Ramsey, a Super Bowl winner. I'm surprised. Would it be possible that someone from the would it be one of those situations where someone from the AFC is really cut off from it? Would you really care if you're Miami?
Not really.
Like, not the Bills. I'm not honest the Bills, but if the Chiefs came knocking and they said, "Look, we want someone to play on the other side from McDuffie. We'll give you a 3rd round pick, 4th round pick, or something." I would have thought they would have gone in for it
They probably
because it'd be
would.
cheap.
I think.
Because they do it with receivers. Like, they pick up these sort of guys that have been, have shown good quality, bounced around for a little bit, and still might have something left in the tank.
And I think most teams might be waiting until he gets a bit cheaper, where it gets to a point where it's going to become toxic and the Dolphins just need to get rid of him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Teams can be patient with this because when a player's out there and they know he's going to get traded or he'll potentially get cut, like they could get him for nothing instead of giving away a third rounder or a fourth rounder.
Yeah, I mean the only thing that would really keep Miami wanting him there for as long as he has been, like if he's going to have some value, like if there's going to be teams that are bidding against each other, which there might be. If there's a few teams, but I don't know if they'd be properly bidding, but there must be some value there if they're going to keep him. Otherwise, they'd probably say, look, he's not on that much of a dead cap hit if they get rid of him this year. I don't know his contract details, but I wouldn't assume it would be that big.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it must be like a bidding war happening, surely, like between just, do they try and squeeze someone out of like 2/3, for example, or something like that.
Yeah. I think I'm not too sure about going back to the Rams and him coming back to the Rams. I think that situation's done, but yeah, as I said, I reckon the Cowboys will be good.
Is
I
there
wonder
anywhere
if-
else you think he might land? Anywhere else in the league?
Not that I'm reading. They were the three main ones. Other potential ones, like Nick said, probably the Chiefs would be a nice one to see him go over and try and keep that Super Bowl window open.
Even the Bills. But it's probably in
Oh,
division, probably
yeah.
can't do it. It would only be if they cut him
Yeah,
in
that's
terms
right.
of a trade.
What about the
Yeah.
Packers?
Packers
Seen
would be
Yeah.
some
nice.
stuff
Can't
I've
see
just
why
come
not.
across now with the Packers, because the Packers have yet to reach a contract extension resolution, essentially, with Jair Alexander. God, I hate trying to say that name altogether. Jair Alexander. And if he's, I think they're asking him to play on a reduced salary, so that could lead to a trade.
Even
Swap
so,
him.
like,
Could we see a
Yeah.
swap? We might see a
swap.
player swap.
Player swap, that'd be nice.
There also has been some talk, and I didn't want to bring it up. There's been some talk about Minnesota as well, because it's still trying to replace quarterbacks.
You wouldn't want him on Minnesota?
No, I would, but I think he'd come as too big a price tag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
as
and
in
of course-
trade, as into trade,
No,
or as in his contract.
I think his contract. I think his contract
me
might
try
be a
and bring
bit
it up.
prohibitive. Of course, Ramsey played with Kevin O'Connell at the Rams
Yep.
during that Super Bowl season, so he would know him, and of course he would know him from around the league. So there's that possibility.
Oh yeah, he's still got okay. I can see why the Dolphins aren't trading him. Yeah, he's still got a while left on his contract.
Yeah,
Like he's
'cause
signed until 2028.
he signed a big extension.
Yeah, I thought that was a couple. I thought that was a couple of years ago. So look, basically, if they were to cut him now, it would be roughly about a $50 million dead cap hit. So they're
Yeah,
definitely not going to cut
Yeah,
him.
they'll trade him.
They're going to want something pretty decent for him.
Yeah, because even if they trade for him, even if they trade him, it's probably about a $30 million dead cap hit. So they're going to need something out of him. So cutting him is probably, it's probably out of the question, I would say.
Yeah.
But
Unless
it depends. Who's got the money? Who's got the money? Yeah.
can they do a Derek Carr situation where they negotiate the buyout and he takes the 10 million and leaves 30 or 40 on the table?
I can't see that. Not because
Because he's not retiring.
He's well, that, and also because he's not got that much of a serious injury like Derek Carr does.
Yeah, okay.
Because that's probably that main factor where it was like, we'll still get money. Like the Saints can save money, but they said to keep him, like for him to keep that money that he had, like sort of in advance. Whereas this is like, he's fit, he's healthy, he just wants to play, somewhere else, sort of thing. Whereas Derek Carr's, he's painting it as he's not going to be playing anywhere else,
Well, why?
at least for now.
Why sign an extension that long if you're not going to want to be there? Like,
Money.
For Christ's sake.
It has to be the money.
But yeah,
I mean, most guys at that age, for a corner typically, signing a deal for that long and that big is probably unheard of. It's, even look at like the Cooper Cup one. Like he's probably done 3-year deal, 45 mil.
Mm-hmm.
For his age and his how injury prone he is, it's just like you just take it.
yeah.
Because who's going to give you that money?
Yeah, 100%.
You sort yourself out from there.
For sure. Well, it'll be interesting to see if and when he does actually sign somewhere, or what happens. Like, really, I can't imagine him not playing for a season. And there's clearly a lot of the Dolphins front office is over it and over the entire situation. So I can't imagine him actually playing for the Dolphins. So let's see what happens there.
That's another good one to send him to Dallas. Give him Jerry Jones.
All right. How about Shamar Stewart, the number 17th overall pick in the draft, is holding out with the Bengals on a contract dispute. He is yet to have signed anything or even come to any kind of agreement with the Bengals on his rookie deal. And at this point, the Bengals, when they still haven't signed or done anything with Trey Hendrickson, now have defensive end number 1 and 2 on the outer.
Yeah, so from what I'm reading, it's a language thing in the contract. So I'm not sure if it's too far away from him signing by reading what you're reading. It's just changing those things over. But in saying that, their second round pick hasn't signed either for the same sort of thing. So it's an interesting one to watch because they went defensive heavy after having a bad defensive year last year. So they're going to want to try and seal it up and fix this up. Otherwise, they're going to have another poor season on defense.
Yeah, it's a bit strange. You haven't really heard much of this before, where you have a guy that's being drafted that's holding out. It's very strange, but I'm really interested to see. Before I get into that sort of like the Stewart side of things, there's a growing trend of the Bengals just not paying defensive players. Like, are they allergic to it? Is it just not part of their DNA? Like, what's going on down there? Like, I feel like if they had picked like another receiver, yeah, done, smooth sailing. But defensive end, no, he lays tackles, no.
It's because they don't score any points.
Oh, well, you can scoop and score, if you're good enough. Good reflexes, can take it and go to the house. Rare, but still can happen. I've seen Nick Bosa do it before. Yeah, I don't know. It's a bit strange. I think, as we were talking in the green room, it was a lot around, sort of how much is guaranteed. Is it fully guaranteed? Is it very little that's guaranteed? Obviously, the structure, I'm not sure if people know, obviously the structure in terms of where you get picked depends on like the total money that is paid. So a lot of that, it's not very negotiable in that terms. Like, you can't just say, I want 5 years, 100 mil. Like, you can't obviously come up and say that. Obviously, the money's going to be there. It's just whether, how much is guaranteed or not. So it can't be that far apart, and it surely can't be as outrageous as it seems to be. Like, it just seems quite strange that you'd have something like this, even for a player that, in college, and when he was drafted, a lot of people thought he was overdrafted or, sort of taken too early. That's another thing. So it's not like it's, Cam Ward coming out and saying, no, I want a fully guaranteed deal with the Titans. This is like someone that a lot of people feel should have been a first-round pick to even begin with. Yeah.
Well, there is that as well. But, of course, as you mentioned there, mate, it is all their money is set under the collective bargaining agreement set down by the NFL and the Players Association. So there's no discussion on the actual money itself. It's just what happens. The question remains, and a lot of people may be asking, is what happens if a rookie doesn't sign their contract? Well, I did find a little bit of something, and we talked about it a little bit earlier. So here's something from NBC, and I'll try and just zoom in on that to get it a little bit better. If they don't sign, they can re-enter the draft next season. And if they still don't sign with the team that picks them, then they can enter free agency and potentially land a contract elsewhere. Apparently it's rare, but it does actually happen. So That would be what happens if he doesn't sign this contract.
And then the
Do we
next
know
one as
whether-
well. Is that right?
And then the next one as well, yes. So
Yeah.
he would have to be unhappy with both contracts. And you would imagine that if it got that far down the tree and you 2 times in a row, I don't know whether... The likelihood is, though, that you re-enter the draft and you're going to have a bit of a stain on your name anyway. So a team may not want to pick you. And you're talking Nick saying he shouldn't have been, like people saying he should have been a first-round draft pick. Probably should have been more of a second, third-round draft pick. The likelihood is you're going to drop like a long way. 6th, 7th round possibly. And then you may not even get drafted. You end up as a undrafted free agent, which means your money is a lot less. You're talking like league minimum, 110K. So, a lot less. Another interesting situation, though, while we're just talking about that, in terms of Shamar Stewart not signing his deal, and what happens with rookies. Boys, there's 30 of 32 of the second-round rookies currently haven't signed their contracts in the NFL. And it all seems to be revolving around a situation that's happened with a couple of the early contracts that have been signed by 2 second-rounders. So the Texans gave Jaden Higgins their second-round pick, their second pick of the second round, coincidentally, the first fully guaranteed contract ever for a second-round draft pick. And then the next day, the Browns gave their first pick of the second round, so the first pick of the second round, Carson Schwezinger, a fully guaranteed contract as well. It seems that everything revolves around the fact that these 2 guys got fully guaranteed contracts, and of course, the rest of these players' agents are going to teams and saying, if other second-round picks are getting fully guaranteed contracts, why should my player take anything less? But that's 30 players, just second-round players.
It's an interesting one there. I'd go on the position you were drafted. Like if you were high second round, you could probably do it. But if you're at the back end of the second round, you can't sit there and say I want a fully guaranteed deal. Like because you'll be the high end of the second round would be potential first round picks as well. So I could see it for the high end guys, but the back end you're probably not going to the team. And you're probably going to a better team in that sense, so you want to be around those type of players.
You could definitely tell the NFL that the players at least moving towards a lot more of them having a lot more power when second round draft picks are deciding, I want a fully guaranteed deal. I don't want to take whatever would be best on offer. It's crazy. They're moving a lot more towards the NBA with their contracts very very quickly. So it's interesting because now you sort of reset, it's weird. It's like a mini market within itself, and it sort of resets because they've got fully guaranteed deals, and you can rock up to the OTAs, ball out, smash it, go against your first string starters, compete, be the number one choice like a receiver or something, rock up, dominate, and then go, I want a fully guaranteed deal. And it's like, well, what do you do? So it's weird now. You're sort of bargaining with OTAs. They haven't played a minute in the NFL. It's a weird sort of market. Like I can't believe this is something that's actually happening.
Look. To be honest, I just had a thought while you were just talking about it. Why not make it like home loans? All right, we'll give you a fully guaranteed deal, but it's going to be half of what we're going to do if you non-fully guaranteed. But if you reach those quotas, then you'll get more money.
So in the other
Maybe.
In the other 6 rounds of the draft combined, only 26 draft picks have not yet signed their rookie contracts. But that's in the other 6 rounds. There are 12 unsigned first-round picks. So what we're discussing is, can you believe some of this stuff? Travis Hunter hasn't signed yet.
Yeah, wow.
Will Campbell hasn't signed yet. Mason Graham hasn't signed yet. The one that blows me away is Jackson Dart hasn't signed her contract with the New York Giants yet. Jackson Dart, you weren't even supposed to be chosen there. Sign the goddamn contract. Like, you are one of the luckier than Shamar Stewart, to be honest.
Yeah.
Sign the goddamn contract. Get on the board,
Yeah.
mate. Like it's.
But again, it comes down to they know their worth because of how they were drafted. So
I get that.
They know.
But, I mean, Jackson Dart blows me away. I would just be like, you need to be
the
signed.
teams
that
need
contract.
them.
And there could be a bit of leveraging with this as well. Like you think if you're Jackson Dart, first round pick coming into it, you could. I can't believe I'm saying this. You could sit there and say, "Oh, what are you going to do? You're going to go to Russell Wilson. You're going to go to James Winston. This is what I want. The Bengals. Who's going to lay them tackles? I hear Hendrickson's on the way out, and it's good. And you know what? That point that you made before, Isaac. I was just thinking, don't let the Bengals know about that because they'll find a way to sort of, have a defensive player and not pay him in that regard. So that's their thing now. They just don't pay anyone on the defense.
Any Bengals people listening out there, don't take it. It's mine.
I'm running down this list. Jahad Campbell, Nick Emanwari doesn't sign. Trayvon Henderson. Come on, dude. You're going to be the number one running back at New England. I understand. But
are they showing up to OTAs?
These are the second rounders, right? I don't know. Tyler Shuck, dude.
Sign the contract.
You sign
It must be more so an injury thing. It must be just more guaranteed money because of injury, surely.
Tyler Shuck, dude, you're going to be starting quarterback. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Some
That's
of
the
them
leverage. See, that's the leverage that comes into it.
That's right.
Yeah, I know. And
What are you
some
gonna
of
do?
these, some of these, I guess, some of these second rounders that are running down now, when you look at some of these guys, it's like, no, just give him the guaranteed contract. Why are you not doing that? It's strange to me that the Pats are playing hardball because I thought they were going to try and get away from that hardball Bill Belichick era. The Patriots, not the Patriots, but the Saints literally have no other options. Like there is no other options for the Saints. Just get your shit done.
Yep.
And this is actually, as I'm going down, you know what? A lot of this is repeating the same teams.
Yeah, okay.
Nick's point of why they won't pay defensive players. Pick number 49, Demetrius Knight Jr., their linebacker.
Yeah. Bengals.
What are they doing? What are the Bengals doing?
Someone made this point a while ago. I heard this on another show. It's like what you've got to do sometimes with some of these teams in this league is everyone assumes that everyone in this league is smart, like the GMs. It's not the case. It's not the case. Some teams are just not that smart. You've just got to take that in consideration. The Bengals want to be in shootouts every game. Good for television, not good if you want to make the playoffs.
They've signed their running back.
Offensive side of the ball.
There you go. Exactly. This is the point.
They've signed their guard, Jalen Rivers.
Offensive side of the ball.
They signed a linebacker. Sorry, we've
No way.
it.
Nah, fake news.
Fake news.
And-
Fake news.
And he hasn't made the cut.
Yeah.
You're telling me they paid a fifth rounder before they paid Trey Hendrickson? No way.
Apparently they did. Anyway, it's a really interesting situation with these guys not signing. Obviously, we see it every single season. It happens.
Yep.
And it'll keep on happening. But it is interesting, as Nick said, these guys have got power now. And suddenly they've got power and they can start doing that well within their rights to say, especially some of these high second rounders, to say other guys have been getting fully guaranteed contracts and I want that. So
Yeah.
it's their livelihood.
That's right.
And it's the way it is. So.
I was going to throw this out there as a debate topic, just coming up with it on the fly. Should all NFL contracts be guaranteed? Because I think we're trending towards that direction anyway. Should they pretty much be fully guaranteed anyway?
No, the way some guys don't even work out. I think they've got to have stronger injury guarantees. I think if a guy, almost like, you know how in our workplaces we have, there's certain levels of workplace injury compensation you get.
Yep.
I think a lot of theirs are just an injury guarantee, regardless of what the injury is. Whereas I think if you get something that is a career-ending injury, there should be some kind of compensation that comes from not the team necessarily, but maybe from the NFLPA. Like those guys have just been collecting money for decades now and not doing anything with it, or from the NFL themselves. Like I'm trying to think of guys that would have had full-on career-ending injuries that shouldn't have played again, or didn't
Alex
play
Smith.
again. Alex Smith, yeah, it's a great
Alex
one
Smith.
actually. That was, we all saw it. It was brutal.
Yep.
You know, and so that kind of injury, that where you're never going to play football again, like that's your livelihood gone in a split second. Especially since a lot of these guys are in their early to mid-20s. So that's it. Like that affects your quality of life too. You look at Alex Smith, that affects your quality of life for the rest of your life.
Yep.
There should be some kind of injury compensation for that because it's ended your career.
And that could be part of it. But what I'm saying is, I think it'd be more so a lot easier in terms of when you're going to do trades, for example, when you're cutting someone. So, it could be a lot easier to be able to just flat out say, if you're trading someone, you don't have, let's take I'm trying to think of someone. Let's take a good example. Let's take the trade between Jared Goff and Matt Stafford, right? And then, the Rams offloaded Jared Goff, and it had all this extra cap room and all this extra dead cap that came with it. Like, instead of that, just trade the contracts. Like, you've got this, right? You've paid here. The rest of it, they pay for it. Or you come up with like an agreement like they do in other sports where, if a player's on a ridiculous contract, say, oh, no, I'm not paying all of that. So you pay a portion of it, and then the rest, the original team has to pay. Like, I feel like that sort of structure works a lot better than how they would have it. And then at least fully guaranteed deals, teams will be like, oh, it doesn't really matter because we don't have to pay, like Russell Wilson, $40 million for him to go play for Pittsburgh, twice over. So it just becomes a bit more entangled, and it becomes a lot more easy to be able to trade guys, like when they want to be, actually traded. Like, look at the NBA, for example. You can trade guys a lot easier than you can in the NFL because of that reason. The contracts are tradable.
Yeah,
I get what you mean. It makes sense, but it in a way, it'd take a lot of thought on how to structure it properly.
Yeah.
Is my biggest thought. To not destroy everything, and not just end up going down the route of maybe every position should have a set salary, for instance. You know what I mean? Like it's because it's not possible. Because there's guys that are better than other guys. Anyway. Great thought, Nick. Great thought. A veteran not turning up to OTAs. Hassan Reddick has to be the biggest jabroni that we've seen in, the last few years. He had a disastrous season with the Jets, not turning up to training camp, holding out for several weeks early in the season, I think even into mid-season. Played a couple of games, was not that great. Didn't even really do anything. Cut. See you later, mate. Signed to the Bucks on basic mid-year last year. Signed last year on what is essentially a prove-it deal. Very minimum. Like very little compared to what he was getting. And so far, hasn't turned up to an OTA. Or anything. On a prove-it deal.
they are voluntary.
They are voluntary.
To be fair, though, last year when we were talking about this, it was because the Jets didn't give him that contract, which is why they had traded for him in the first place. They gave up, I can't remember what it was, like a second-round pick or something, to the Eagles in the fact that they were going to re-sign him, which they didn't, which is why he held out. So that's why it was a trickle effect of him having a shit season, because when he did come back, they obviously caved and went, yeah, all right, we'll give you a deal, because, they were shit defensively through a lot of portions of last year. So now why he's doing it this year, I've got no idea. That I've got no answers for. That's a personal thing. Maybe it's because of his age. I'm not sure. But as I said, it is voluntary, and with it being older guys, you can sort of understand it, I suppose.
But if you're on a
he's on a
deal,
he's on a
the
1 year,
thing,
$14 million deal with Tampa Bay.
It's
And he didn't turn up. Last year, he didn't turn up until week 7 of the season and recorded 1 pressure, 1 sack, 3 QB hits, and 2 tackles for loss in 10 games.
That was because of that deal, though, because they didn't pay him. They waited too long to be able to pay him, which he knew that they brought him in to pay him, and he had all the leverage in that deal, and that's why eventually the Jets did cave.
Yeah. I just think if you're on a prove-it deal, you're on a new team, you want to show up and show them that you're there for the team. You got to show up to OTAs.
Yeah, totally agreed. You've got to show up.
Yeah, it's like getting a new job and not showing up. It's just like, no,
I'm not showing up today.
you're not paying me enough. Like fuck, mate. We'll just get someone else.
I'm taking the job, but you know what? I'm not showing up the first 4 weeks. Not showing up to after my probationary period. Then I'll show.
It's like you're not showing up for the training. But you got to do the training, the inductions, and all that type of shit. And you just no, I'm not going to do it.
Straight past that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Anyway, if you compare it to like an everyday job, yeah, you just would be able to do it.
It's like a doctor coming in. Nah, I'm not coming in.
Yeah, that's right.
Probationary period, missing all of it, and then gets to it. Like, all right, what am I doing? Fuck.
No. All right. Let's move on to the big one of this week, the contentious one of this week, because it has divided some people. Stefon Diggs, the new Patriots wide receiver, has been recorded, which is probably one of the dumbest things ever to happen, on a boat with Instagram models and his new girlfriend Cardi B, handing out what looks to be a suspicious pink substance to the ladies, and what is has most people talking and is saying a particular drug called Tusi, which is essentially pink cocaine, ketamine, MDMA, and a mixture of some other things, which
Jesus
sounds like
Christ.
one hell of a good time, as well as one hell of a drug. Being on
high roller drugs.
cocaine and ketamine at once are just insane, to be honest.
Are we sure? Can we confirm? Are we sure that blue stuff isn't like Viagra or anything? Considering he's hanging around all those chicks there too. Just
I
to
don't know whether
confirm.
you're going to need Viagra when you're on cocaine.
Yeah, well, that's right.
And
One's for
MDMA
the energy, and then one's for. Oh, I'll leave it to
will give you a pretty decent rod to start with. So. Allegedly, allegedly from my memory.
In the words
Allegedly.
of it's either Charlie Murphy or Rick James, cocaine, it's a hell of a drug.
It's a hell of a drug.
But again, like, when are these sports stars? Sorry, I'm going to go off on a little bit of a rant here. When are they going to get the picture that when you hop on a boat with them, put your phones away, leave them on land, or when you go into a house party, put them all in a box and leave them away? This shit is going to get out no matter what you do, no matter how discreet you are. Like, it happened.
The problem isn't the sports players, mate. It's the fact that his girlfriend is Cardi B, who is a rapper,
draw the
and
attention.
then he's there with Instagram models. That is exactly what they do. They cannot live without their phones.
I understand that, but he has, like, they've got to get smarter. And another thing happened over here recently with a NRL player, Reece Walsh. He's off injured, and he's posting on Instagram and TikTok of him knocking out his mate with a boxing glove on. Like, far out, guys. Are you that stupid? Like,
Mate, when you got that much money, you don't know what to do with it. You surely wouldn't know what to do with it.
That one's different too, mate. I go, it's his mate. Which one of his mates shared that?
I don't.
That's the idiot.
I
Like,
don't know.
that was just supposed to be shared to a group chat. No worries. But when one of your mates goes and shares it so the media sees it, like, you'd be coming down on it pretty hard.
Probably another chick, mate. Probably. Let's be real. Could be.
Yeah, but
It could be.
do you know where you're going with that? Like, you've got to protect yourselves. You protect yourselves in your contracts and everything like that.
You know what?
Protect yourselves when you go out for a night out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? For Stefon Diggs, man, you know, he's in his 30s. He's made his hundreds of millions. He don't care. He's not a rookie. That's why he don't care.
A pretty interesting. Mike Vrabel was asked about this during OTA press conference, which is pretty funny to start with, and some interesting comments from Vrabel.
Stefon Diggs has gotten a lot of traction in the last 24 hours or so. He's on a boat having a good time, but the question comes in as to a certain substance that people are guessing what is and isn't. Is this something that the team has to look into?
Well, it's something that we're aware of, and obviously we want to make great decisions on and off the field. We're hoping that with our time here on the field today, and that when we don't have a script and we're on the call-up periods, that we're making great decisions. And so the message will be the same for all our players, that we're trying to make great decisions, and any conversations that I've had with Stefon will remain between him and I and the club.
Have you talked to him since the video?
I talk to our players every single day, the ones that are here and the ones that aren't.
Amazing. I mean, I hope we. Number one, I hope
You can tell there's a part of him going, say what you really think. Say what you really think. And he's just trying to just hold off from it.
Yeah. Big thanks to a few people on X for some of these videos that I keep finding. Last week we got a caution of a strike basically on YouTube because of some highlights of a 49ers player that I played.
The bloody 49ers.
I tell you, do you want to know where the strike came from?
They
And
are
it didn't
just a
come from the
pain
fucking
in our
49ers.
arse.
It didn't come from the 49ers themselves.
Was it the
I'll tell you
Rams?
that right now. No, it's the goddamn 49ers fan page who recycled a 49ers
Man,
highlight
what are
video.
you doing, man?
And then they put out copyright stuff on it. I'm like, you lot are a fan page, you fuckwits. It didn't even come from you. And it's like,
But
you're using NFL highlights and then copywriting them yourself? Like, what? And
hey, they
I
must
tell you
have
what,
been watching.
we've been doing more YouTube stuff lately, this season so far, and I've been playing bits of videos and stuff, especially highlights from players, and that is the first time we've gotten an actual copyright warning. Fucking 49ers. So
Copyright warning.
you'd be lucky if I play any more 49ers content, that's for sure.
We won't be
Bloody
once the
man,
season
man.
kicks off anyway.
Nah, that's it, man, Joel. You got a lot of explaining to do, mate.
You can play literal NFL videos and not get a copyright from the NFL. But
Man,
it
there's
was-
a rookie error, Ian. You should have just went straight to the official page.
Maybe, yeah. I can't. I have to find which one it was now too. It pissed me off. I was just like, "Are you actually kidding me? Like, it's just ridiculous." So, I couldn't believe it.
So does that mean they've actually watched it and seen it?
No,
Yes.
the
Or they just
algorithms
get-
watched it. The algorithm
Because
watched
I
it.
know I'm here, that's why. I'm here.
The algorithm, or YouTube, the
some
YouTube
sense is
algorithm
here.
searches for copyright material in your stuff.
Okay.
Right? So,
Oh, fucking AI, man.
So we get copyright protected content found. The owner allows the content to be used on YouTube. And I was just like, what? What is this from? And you know what? We talked about 49ers players last week. We talked about Brock Purdy's contract, right? We talked about Kittle. Yeah?
Yep.
So I played video from Brock Purdy, heaps of it, while we were talking about Brock Purdy's contract with Brad. And then we talked about Fred Warner. That's where it come from. Fred Warner's highlights, for fuck's sake. Not Brock Purdy's highlights from the same page.
Yeah, right.
Jesus.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Bloody 49ers.
Same page.
Best player on the team at the moment, so there you go.
Who?
Fred Warner.
Oh, yeah, we missed
Yeah.
you last week on that, didn't we? Oh,
Yeah, we did actually. We deliberately missed you last week on that.
yeah, we had all our
Deliberately.
49ers chat then.
I don't know. You're fishing to try and get him to say something, but it's not going to happen.
I don't know what you want me to say on that. I don't know.
So, San Francisco 49ers fans on YouTube, no good. That's the name. San Francisco 49ers fans. You're done. You've done it. You've done your dash. There's actual 49ers people in this AGN network, and you can all go get fucked now.
Just listen to me,
It's the most
right?
thing I've done in one
Look.
episode in weeks.
Listen to me.
So I'll just
Don't worry
wait
about
for-
Manjot. Just listen to me. We'll talk about us.
I'm just going to get
me.
Manjot to produce highlights for me because I'll seem to not get copyrighted.
He's just in there, just in the green room. All right, whip up something, George Kittle. Let's go. Send me a mixtape.
All right, last thing to talk about today. James Cook still hasn't signed a contract extension with the Buffalo Bills, holding out basically, skipping OTAs, and is openly saying that he's skipping OTAs to look for a contract extension for the Buffalo Bills, which he rightly deserves
Yep.
and expects that he should get.
I agree. I think they should lock him up as soon as possible. I think he was quite good last year, and he's on a good trajectory.
Yeah, I was going to say definitely for sure. And considering that they restructured that whole offense to become a lot more of a power running team, definitely makes sense to try and lock him down. Otherwise, they're handicapping themselves in what their identity is. Like, it really doesn't make sense. It's a bit like if the Ravens came out and said, "Nah, we're getting rid of Derrick Henry. That's it. Don't worry about it." It's like, really doesn't really make sense. So they should be locking him down for sure.
Last 2 seasons is over 1,000 yards rushing for James Cook. That's just the last 2 seasons, 500 in his rookie season. He is still on his rookie contract. He is going into the last year of his rookie contract. So essentially he's looking for his extension, so to get off his rookie deal. And to be honest, like, if you look at what running backs are getting, it's actually not much more than what his rookie deal was. So, the guy is he worth huge dollars, essentially? Is he worth Derrick Henry money? Is he worth I don't know. Like, is he worth the big running back money or not?
I think so, because a little bit of trivia for you guys. Can anyone tell me who's the second running back in Buffalo?
God, no.
There you go.
Because it's James Cook all the way.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, you need to pay him. I'm just looking at depth chart now. Ray Davis. Who's that?
Ray Davis.
Yeah,
Ray Davis.
Do you know what I mean?
Lord.
So, like,
They probably have to go get someone undrafted. Like, yeah, what's the point?
well, that's right. You pay James Cook.
Yeah, that's right. And you pay James Cook. So he's holding out at the moment, and he's 13th on their list of players for cap hit. I was just having a look at what he owes them. But yeah, you pay him.
You got him. And there's not many running backs left out there in free agency that you can go get if he doesn't sign.
Yeah, very, very true, actually. Do they have anyone? Who else they got other than Ray Davis? I haven't.
Ray Davis, Ty Johnson, and Darrington Evans.
Yeah, so a lot of
List
young
of household names.
List of household names, absolutely.
That's it. Absolutely.
All right. Buffalo Bills pay James Cook. Anything else to talk about, boys? Anything else before we sign off?
Not that I'm aware of at the moment.
All right, cool. Well, hopefully we get Brad back next week. We might find a bit of a topic to discuss, something interesting, some kind of, I don't know, interesting game or something we can do. Maybe we've got some top 5 positions we've been wanting to do, so we might throw out a top 5 from one of the position groups. So we'll see how we go with that. Might be a slightly different day. We'll see how we go. We probably won't have Nick because he's going to be jetting off to Queensland to try out for Outback, as we talked about. So
Good luck, Nick.
Best of luck to Nick, but it might be just myself, Isaac, and Brad, hopefully. Otherwise, we'll get a ring in and we'll figure it out from there.
If he's on at 10:30, actually, it might be, considering, in your time it sort of goes past 11, so I'll touch down and just phone in.
Straight away. Straight away. All right. Well, that'll be it for today. Thank you very much for listening / watching. If you are listening, you can catch us on YouTube. Just search up at Pastry Press NFL or search up G'day Gridiron. You'll find us that way on there. If you want to stay in contact with anybody in the Aussie Gridiron Network, you can catch everything at our Linktree, Linktree / Aussie Network. All the links to all the socials, our merch store, every episode ever of G'day Gridiron and Aussie NFL Fantasy Show. And apart from that, make sure you check out the boys tomorrow for fantasy on Sundays or later if you wanted to. Whenever you get it, make sure you check that out this week and give everybody a like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff wherever you can. It will be amazing. It all helps all of us out. So Till next week. See you later.
See ya. Go the Blues.